Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Victims of disgraced billionaire and sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein have been speaking up about their experiences with the criminal financier. From Virginia Guiffre, whose testimony implicated other prominent figures like Prince Andrew and former President Bill Clinton, to the Farmer sisters, whose revelations were shut down by the FBI. These are the stories of the survivors, the staff who saw things, and how they escaped the clutches of Jeffrey Epstein. On August 10, 2019, billionaire financier and sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein was found unresponsive in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Facility in New York City. His death was ruled a suicide.
Some breaking news right now. Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein has taken his own life.
Jeffrey Epstein has taken his own life.
Jeffrey Epstein has killed himself.
Prior to his death, Epstein was standing trial for sex trafficking charges after several victims came out to accuse Epstein of exploiting them while they were minors.
I was mad and scared, and I didn't know what was going to happen.
Former model Amy McClure was one of the first victims of the billionaire's history of assault. Her story takes us back to 1993, when McClure was 21 and Epstein was 40.
I went to a party because somebody in a modeling agency told me about a party that had all the models were going to it. During the course, I met one guy who said that he knew somebody that would like me.
McClure claims she was lured to the party with the promise of getting modeling opportunities, but things soon took a very dark turn. After meeting McClure at the party, Epstein invited her back to the Manhattan mega mansion the following day, and the young model just couldn't say no. But when she turned up the following day, she was asked to give Epstein a massage naked.
So embarrassing, but he looks at me and then he asked me, like, how old are you? Like, 21, and made me feel really embarrassed.
But even after complaining that she was too old for him, Epstein still went ahead to assault her. But Epstein was a powerful man, and even though McClure wanted to speak up at the time, she was scared Epstein would come after her.
Money should not be able to buy you the power to get away with hurting people.
However, even with all his power and connections, through the efforts of many brave women, his empire was eventually brought down, and his little dark secret was exposed to the world. Maria Farmer was one of those women. The now 54-year-old woman met Epstein in 1995 when she was 25 years. She was an art student at the time, and when the billionaire asked her to come work for him, she jumped at the opportunity.
He didn't really have a lucrative art collection. He had a little bit of garish taste, I guess, and he needed help.
It was while working the front door at Epstein's townhouse that she started seeing some concerning things about the billionaire and his girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell.
She said she needed models for Victoria's Secret. And she said she needed models for like the Limited Corporation is what Epstein called it. So she said it wasn't just for Victoria's Secret, but it was mostly for them. And because one time I asked, like, why are they so young? And she said the Limited Corporation has a lot of companies and these girls model, okay, Maria? And they start young.
Ghislaine Maxwell would go out on these drives to procure models. She would say, these are the nubiles. I need the nubiles.
At this mansion, many of these young girls were subjected to abuse, manipulation, and even prostitution. But it wasn't until she became a victim herself that Maria understood what was going on. On that fateful night in 1996, Ghislaine Maxwell approached Maria wearing nothing but a bathrobe.
And she said, come with me. And I knew immediately something was nefarious. I just felt the energy.
According to Maria, Epstein then began touching her inappropriately before she was then assaulted by both Epstein and Maxwell. Maria would later realize that her 16-year-old sister, Annie, had also suffered the same fate at the hands of Epstein and his partner in crime. And upon meeting Epstein, Annie felt at ease because the man she met appeared more as a father figure than a predator. He expressed his interest in her education and what her plans were for the future. But behind this mask, Epstein harbored a forbidden desire towards the little girl. As the trip progressed, Epstein began to get physical with Annie, rubbing her legs and sensually caressing her. But Annie didn't want to believe that such a nice man could do anything to harm her, so she made excuses for him in her head. As soon as the New York trip was over, Annie got an invitation from Epstein to go to this new sprawling ranch in New Mexico, and it was there that Annie met Maxwell for the first time. It was also on this ranch that Annie would be molested by both Maxwell and Epstein. In a lawsuit filed against Epstein in 2019, Annie revealed that the billionaire had groped, harassed, and even snuggled into bed one time. Even Maxwell was also implicated in the case, as Annie claimed she also gave her an inappropriate topless massage. On learning that her sister had also been abused by the criminal couple, Maria picked up the phone and called the NYPD. Then on August 26, 1996, Maria took things to another level when she presented the case before the FBI. The FBI did nothing.
And I told the FBI this, and I asked for witness protection, and I never received it.
The story went untold until 2002 when the Farmer's sisters were approached by journalist Vicky Ward, who was writing a piece on Jeffrey Epstein. After revealing the entire ordeal they had gone through at the hands of the billionaire, Ward was quite positive that this would be the end of Epstein's reign of terror. However, the case received a major setback after former Vanity Fair editor Graydon Carter removed the part about the scandal from the piece. It was a devastating blow to the case and exposed the Farmer sisters to serious danger. Soon, Annie and Maria started receiving death threats from both Epstein and Maxwell, and at some point Maria had to change her name and move to North Carolina. It would eventually take one call from another victim for the FBI to finally spring into action. The call was from the stepmother of one of Epstein's victims, who reached out to the Palm Beach Police Department after her 14-year-old stepdaughter revealed that she had been molested by Epstein.
An incident that occurred maybe like three and a half weeks ago with one of my stepdaughters. Found out that ended up being that they went to Palm Beach to a gentleman's house, and they started off by giving this gentleman a massage.
The anonymous witness then explains in detail how the billionaire had tricked her stepdaughter into giving a sexual massage.
So I wasn't quite sure if there was an investigation or if you guys had any word. Well, this is the first I'm hearing of it.
This was the beginning of the end for Epstein. Soon, other victims started to come out and narrate the testimonies of their encounter with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. One of them was Virginia Guiffre, who filed a lawsuit against the billionaire and also accused Maxwell of recruiting her into a life of being trafficked when she was just 17 years old.
I mean, how evil do people have to be to just let that happen?
According to Vanity Fair, Giffre's story was first published in March 2011 by the Mail on Sunday, and it was this report that implicated the royal family. According to Giffre, during her time under Epstein, she was abused and assaulted regularly by the billionaire and his girlfriend, but sometimes they shipped her off to other high-profile individuals like Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, to fulfill their sick desires.
He knows what happened. I know what happened. And there's only one of us telling the truth, and I know that's me. This guy was sweating all over me, like his sweat was like, it was raining.
I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time.
It didn't last very long, the whole entire procedure. It was disgusting.
But the Duke of York continues to maintain his innocence and claims that he has never met Giffre.
At Tramp nightclub in London, she went on to have sex with you in a house in Belgravia belonging to Ghislaine Maxwell, your friend. Your response?
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady.
But Jeffrey continues to maintain the validity of her experience at Jeffrey Epstein's private island, Little St. James. Located about 2 miles off the coast of St. Thomas, Little St. James is a 72-acre island which is part of the U.S. Virgin Islands. It was on this same island that several underage girls were allegedly pimped out to the elite of the society. Giffre also claims that on another occasion, she had been forced into an orgy with Prince Andrew and 8 other underage girls. But the story continues to unfold, and as more revelations emerge, we can only wonder how deep the Jeffrey Epstein network goes.